Well, well, well. What do we have here? A bonus episode leading to Album of the Year with my good friend Brandon from Audio Addiction. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did that. I don't know why I didn't even think of this in the beginning. This was his idea. I'm sorry, Brandon, for talking your ear off for like almost 3 hours because the passion just goes into it. But I think we're going to start probably doing this annually. Audio Addiction and I, it's a YouTube channel that you need to go check out. He's been interviewing bands for over 6 years, and especially the ones that he got early on, they're massively successful, and they have a lot going for them in their careers. So definitely go check him out. And we're cutting the segments in half. So we went live on YouTube, and what we did was we decided to do Album of the Year. So we're going to do our top 10 albums of the year, along with the idea for our top 5 unsigned bands as well. So on this episode, you're going to hear between him and I our top 10 albums of the year. We're going to go through all of that. And then if you want to check out our personal top 5 unsigned bands, you would have to just go over to Audio Addiction's YouTube channel. And I'll put that in the link below so you can check that out. And it was, honestly, that was the easiest decision to make with those top 5 bands. There were a couple I should have added in there, but it's just whatever. I just think that, I want to see these bands like flourish, through and through. So let's get right into it. Top 10 albums of the year with Brandon from Audio Addiction. Thank you again, dude, for doing this. It was really fun, and hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on again. And guess what? Not only are you recording this segment, but I'm also recording it, and we're cutting it in half, and we're exchanging podcast segments. Like, I love it. Well, podcast
collaboration
channel. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. This is your idea, full and through. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be talking a lot, so that's not my fault. That's your fault for inviting
It's okay.
me. So.
Nah, it's good. I'm about it. We're gonna get into the albums of the year. This was very difficult. I had so many sleepless nights trying to figure out who was in my top 10. Usually I do 15, and then with 5 honorable mentions. So I feel like cutting out 5 albums is very difficult for me. But we had to trim the fat a little bit, try to locate it.
It makes it more passionate and thought. Like, why are we picking these albums?
Stop provoking. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So for my number 10, I have Silent Planet's Iridescent. This came out very recently-ish, but I could not stop listening to this record. I've always been a big Silent Planet fan. I've interviewed Garrett once, and I'd love to interview him again. But this is just peak Silent Planet. I like what they're doing. I just feel like with this record, they tried a bunch of different shit, and it just worked for whatever reason. The trilogy, like that single when it first came out, so good. Terminal Liminal, fantastic combination of, lyricism and just like depth and just like heart, which, again, I love Silent Planet for. And I just felt like this record really struck a chord with me, and I just can't stop listening to it. I know it came out like a couple months ago. Actually, I think it came out last month. And this has been on my list, and I knew I had to include them, despite it being just so, like, in terms of time span, the shortest amount of time, I think, at least in terms of the records on here. But definitely that one. What do you think, George? Have you listened to the Silent Planet record?
This just missed my top 10. This was supposed to be number 10.
Okay.
There's not any reasons for it. It's all personal taste and stuff. Dude, the metalcore community really popped off when they dropped this album, and they were so humbled and definitely did not expect the reaction that they did. Kind of like the same thing with Era. Like Era's like self-titled album was fucking impeccable.
Yeah.
There's like definitely some correlation between the two albums and such, like with like how well rounded the albums are. But this is fucking top tier Silent Works or Silent Planets, excuse me, Silent Planets album. Like it's good. It's top tier music. This was
Yeah.
amazing. I was stoked
They're
when they dropped
they
this.
they always like and the craziest thing to me is they always one up each other. Like I feel like with each
That's
record that
so
they've kind
true.
of done, I feel like they just like I don't know what they do, but they just kind of like do different things, make it more interesting. And I think as a listener, I really enjoy it because I don't always know what to expect with Silent Planet sometimes, but they still keep it really heavy. They keep it really like musically cool, and then I think lyricism is always going to be top tier. Like I'm never going to say I would say that Garrett never misses in terms of his lyricism. So, had to include this on the list. This was very difficult, but I knew I had to have Silent Planet on there somewhere. So,
Dude, they popped off with this album. It was absolutely
so popped
incredible.
off.
Really
So
popped
go
off.
check it out. Go buy it if you can. They like went through all of their tour merch, and I'm kind of mad because I wanted to grab something. So
Really?
yeah, they so their last tour that they were gonna or the tour that they were gonna do, they were trying to sell the rest of their like offshoot stuff. So if you want to go pick up some Silent Planet stuff, go do it. But my number 9, and this is gonna surprise you, is Spirit Box's Eternal Blue. I know a lot of people thought that it was gonna be higher up on my list, but I thought this was a great record all around. Still think it's a fantastic record. I do think comparatively to their older stuff, it doesn't quite hit the mark for me personally. I found them with their first self-titled EP, and that to me is god tier. The singles EP also really great. This was also a really good record, and it was hard for me to put it lower in the top 10, but I knew I had to put it on there because Spirit Box has been absolutely murdering it right now. And, I loved all of the singles. I think this record took a little bit longer to grow on me than I thought it was going to. Like with the EP, the first EP, the self-titled, the singles EP, those were like pretty instantaneous. This one took a little extra work, but I really dug what they did. I'm excited for their future as a band, and I I feel like I'm gonna be hurting some people's feelings because I put this where it was at,
Yeah, dude, you
but
definitely
I
hurt
don't
my
care. That's my
feelings.
choice.
So, I mean, no, I'm
It's
on
tough.
serious. No, it's
It's tough.
tough. It's tough.
It's so tough.
It's
Like I
tough.
think the worst track off the record, personal opinion, I thought was Yellow Jacket with Sam Carter. I thought that one was not the best one.
Oh my god, I so disagree with you, but that's okay. That's why
Uh,
we have different music tastes. That's like one of my favorites
that's
off that album.
probably that one. I don't know. That one didn't
Didn't
grow
hate you
on
when the
me as
feels
much
right.
as I thought it was.
It's fine. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter, dude.
yeah, yeah. The first song, Sun Killer, was fantastic. I think that one's one of my favorites. That wasn't one of the singles.
It was an extremely diverse album, and I think they were also nervous about doing that when they were releasing it, thinking like, okay, you release Holy
Yeah.
Roller, you release Circle with Me, you release they released one more as a single too.
Hurt.
Was it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
Yeah,
like
so
hurt
Hurt
you.
You. So they were
Yeah.
like, we're very excited for this album, but like don't expect it to be entirely heavy, which like I don't think matters, but like it's definitely a huge evolution for the metalcore genre in
Yeah.
itself. Like they definitely, you can hear their old similar sounds off of the EP and such, but they really hit the nail on the head with this album, and it deserves to be in anybody's top 10. Doesn't matter like what it's precisely at. I think it just needs to be an essential for a top 10 album of the year, like no doubt in
I would
everybody's
agree. I
eyes.
would agree. I think in any slot, like I'm not gonna disagree and say that this record was not good. It was great. I just feel like personally, I enjoyed a lot more records on my list here, just because, like, again, half the record was already released prior to them releasing the album. So
Correct.
that kind of like you already kind of got an idea, a little bit of a flavor. They released Secret Garden, Holy Roller, Hurt You, Circle with Me. I think that was it.
I
I'm
think
pretty
that was
sure.
it too, and because
Yeah.
touring wasn't really normal yet, like we were still like
Yeah.
somewhat peak pandemic, so they were really stretching this album out, which was good because then they were able to go on the road, and now they are supporting the album. So
Yeah. And they're gonna be on tour in Philadelphia. So if you want to see them with Every Time I Die and Under Oath, I will be there.
are you?
I'm pretty sure George will also be there. So
You want to go together?
let's go together.
Okay, I'll
Let's
pick you
do it.
up.
A date. It's a
Yeah, let's do a
date.
date.
Okay.
You want to come to my
Cutie.
house? And then I'll drive to
I'm the
Philly.
opposite. I'm in the complete opposite direction,
Oh,
so I
that's
could do.
right. Oh,
So
you're not
yeah,
in
I'm
Jersey
not trying to get
anymore.
doxxed on here, but you know what I mean. So we're gonna move on to the next one, which is gonna surprise George as well. Number 8 is Idola's The Architect. I really dug this record a ton. I know it's low on it. I know. George is having a problem over here, but
I'm
I
like
thought
foaming at the mouth right now. Like this
this was
is
great. This was also another fantastic record. Andrew, love of my life, love Andrew. Met him many times. Major homie. Interviewed Idola
see,
well before
I
they
told
blew up.
you. I told you. You know
Yes,
what's good before it hits. Your
he's.
whole episodes tells.
This is all. I feel like this is all just a shill. It's just me shilling
You're
right now.
manifesting the
But
future of this scene.
I guess so. But this was a fantastic record. I was patiently awaiting this record. I feel like this has been kind of like the unkept secret of the Swan Core community because like this record has been like trying to be released for like I'm pretty sure a solid year. It was
Mhm.
supposed to be released last year, I'm pretty sure, but then they ran into some issues and then they went and like redid it. I think pretty sure, and like there was just a lot of issues with this record, and I'm glad that it's finally out and that I can add it to the list because I was going to because Andrew is a fantastic vocalist. I think they just do something different, at least for me, in terms of squancore music. Period. They've just always had this really great niche of sound, and I think it has a lot to do with Andrew and just like the way that the band is. I know Sergio, he used to be in Stolas, is now in Idola now, and I just think the chemistry is on point on this record. I forget the song, but there is a song like midway through this record that was just an absolute banger, and I just enjoyed the ride on this one. This one was really good. They did a track with John Mess, which was very dope. But overall, if you're looking for a great squancore record, this is for sure the one. Like, really enjoyed this one a ton. What do you think, George? You seem like you're gonna be ready to reach through the computer screen and kill me or something.
No, I'll just give you some like love taps on the head. Dude, well, I think the anticipation for this album was perfect because I'm sure like what was going on behind the scenes, which none of us know, was they were trying
Yeah,
to set up the best preparation for this album, also during a pandemic. Because you have the
fair
correlation
enough.
between Blue Swan Records and exclusively licensed to Rise Records. So I don't know if it had anything to entail with like the contract or budgeting or this or that. I don't know. I don't know the details. They didn't release any information. Maybe I should do my research to see if I could do that before we came on and talked about this album. But this
It's okay
album
though. We
really,
doing it live.
we really hit it on the head with this, man. Like I saw him live with the Afterburner tour. My God, were they impressive. Sergio's a madman on guitar, always has been.
Yeah,
And he's been in so many projects within that community, like with Cianvar and like you said, with Stolas and stuff. And Idola just really came out swinging with this one, and I was like, because the last time they released anything was back in 2017, was To Speak It to Listen. So it's like it's been quite
yeah.
some time, but dude, like you said, the chemistry for this is fucking absolutely incredible.
Well worth the wait, I think. You
Oh,
know, like you said,
100%.
2017, I love To Speak to Listen. That's still one of my favorite records of all time. And I think this might a little above
This is
that,
easily
you
their
know?
best work. Easily their best work. I mean, and having
It's
John Mess feature on Mutual Fear, dude, incredible. Like that's my favorite song. That's my
yeah.
absolute favorite song off this album. Even though I
I'm gonna
like
have to
there's like a
find
bunch
the
of
other
other
one.
ones like
I'm gonna have to find the other one real quick because
Counterfeit
while you're
Shrines is
talking,
really good too. Counterfeit Shrines, that's also like a really like
Counterfeit Shrines was great
um
too. Yeah,
it's got like a good like mix of like Andrew Wells vocals, like kind of like letting him shine through and like having that like be pushed to the front of that song. of that track. Like, so I don't know, dude. Like this whole album, front to
I
back,
think
no
they knocked it
skips,
out of the park.
dude. No
No
skips.
skips. Yeah. I would say my favorite is Perennial Philosophy. That one was a banger. That's the
Mm-hmm.
one. That was the one I couldn't think of. That was it. That
Okay.
one's the one. So, highly recommend this if you are into the Swancore scene. If you listen, this one I feel like flew under a ton of people's radars, and that kind of pisses me off a little bit.
Dude,
So,
right?
go
I feel
check
the
it
same
out.
exact way.
No one talked about this record. This is like like I said, the best unkept secret in Swancore right now is this record. So we're gonna move it on to 7, which is the homies Sentinels Collapse by Design. This one undeniably one of the coolest records of this year. They make me so proud to be from New Jersey. uh they just do like their heaviness is unmatched to me. Like the grooves that like the band has collectively on this record was awesome. And to have like their new vocalist like debut on this record pretty much, I think is awesome. I This is a no skip record for me. Everything is dummy heavy. If you are into like math core at all, then this should definitely be on your list. 100%. Um Also, I haven't been going to the gym recently, but I'm gonna be listening to this a ton when I go to the gym because this I feel like this would give you like 10 plus gains for sure. 100%. No cap.
What song would you think would be your best to go work out
Oh
to?
man.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it to you like that.
Oh man. Oh, that's so tough. Ah, I don't know. That's tough. I'm gonna have to look this shit up.
Flip a coin?
Did you listen to this at all, George?
No, unfortunately not.
Did
And
you not?
no.
This one's a drumming like show going on here.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a listen to it after the stream and start dissecting it song by song. But no, this was not on my radar at all this year. I missed it. That's my fault. Released through Sharp Tone Records, great label, great
Yes.
people.
Great label. Great people, yeah.
Great people.
They're doing the Lord's work out here. I feel like they have I would argue they have the best roster.
Huh. Yeah, I
I
can
would
see
argue
that.
that. I
They
would argue that.
I remember when the label just came out of nowhere and they just picked up all these like very prominent acts like We Car and Chioda, or is it not Chioda's, but it's Craig Owens and Savage
Oh,
Hands
drugs?
and like
I don't
yeah,
think they picked
drugs.
drugs up, I'm pretty sure.
They
I
do.
know they did. I know they had. I'm trying to think. They did like Immure. They had like Miss
Ah,
May
that's right.
I. They had like a bunch of huge bands. But to kind of answer your question, George, and I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
I would say Inertia or To Wither Away are
Okay.
spicy meatballs.
I am going to add them to my playlist, and then when I go to the gym, whatever that is, I will definitely take a listen to it for sure.
This is the one. I think like again, if you're into technical music at all, this is the one to listen to. So shouts to the boys and Sentinels. May or may not have something new with Dave coming up soon. So
Uh-oh.
keep your eyes peeled. So
Uh-oh.
very stoked on that.
Uh-oh.
Next one, George kind of talked about a little bit, but is Era's self-titled record. That one came out surprisingly this year. I didn't think it came out this year. If I had to
I had to
Google it
double
just to
check.
make
Did you double
sure.
check too? Because I was like,
I
I
double
swear to
checked.
God, dude. I was like, it
I was
came out
like,
this
I
year.
hope this record did not come out this year. And that's not because I don't love Era. I was just like trying to just buy time because I was just like, I knew I had to add this to the list. This is a masterclass
Holy
in
shit,
progressive
dude.
metalcore. I just want to say that period. This is their best work. I like JT a lot. Obviously, Augment fan here. I can't not love that record. But this is very close, and I almost at some points might think it's actually equal in terms of Era, and I've been an Era fan ever since Impulse. Um, I just love this record. Like I went back and listened to it like today to just kind of like brush up, and cannot speak enough praises about this record. It is one of the best, I would say again, technical proggy metalcore records to come out this year. There were some other ones that I enjoyed, but I wanted to try to keep it closer to albums. There's some EPs that I really enjoyed that obviously did not make the list, but this one was great. Jesse's on point, JT's on point. The rest of the band is just absolutely, I think they just stepped their game up a absolute ton on this record. So I can't say any more, George. What do you think about this record? Because we did talk, we you kind of hinted at it a little earlier. So
Dude, I put this album on like track to track, listened to it entirely. When it first came out, I was
mhm.
like in this euphoria with this album. It was absolutely mesmerizing. Something that I'd never really expected to be top tier metalcore. This is definitely one of the top two of metalcore albums that were released this year. 100%. Like it's
I'd
either one or
argue that,
two.
yeah.
Like you can't be anything else. I didn't put it on repeat as much as a lot of other metalcore albums that I listened to this year, which I have a few on my top 10, but this one hit. This is their best work.
Yeah, I think just because it came out in like March, I was able to really like digest this record because I felt like earlier in the year we really didn't have too much, and then like later in the year we got stacked with like a bunch of records. So I feel like I had a lot of time to like really listen to this record, and I knew when I was making this list I couldn't live, I couldn't not have this on the
Yeah,
list.
I
It
feel
just
that. No,
had to be.
absolutely. Yeah, I didn't listen to a lot of
Uh,
metalcore this year, so I think I only have like two on my list. So
And also, just I want to give a shout outs to Electric Twilight and Divisionary, as well as Scorpion Hymn. Those three are great. I just feel like this is a no skipper too. Like I love this record from front to back. As soon as it dropped, I had to pick that vinyl up. So this one was a good one. And I think a lot of people did not think this record came out this year. So I want to say it did come out this year. So
no, I definitely did.
very stoked on that.
100%.
The next one I got, guys, is number 5. This one is Sleep Token. This place will become your tomb. This band, again, they went on tour with Issues, and no one knew a single fuck about this band. And I absolutely love this band. I've been sundowning, fantastic record. Shout outs to all the homies that recommended this band to me because they perfectly kind of hit that like R&B, metalcore, like beautiful ambience that I feel like I personally miss in like that this sort of genre of music. Kind of similarly to I think how like Loathe does their stuff. I think this band is kind of in the same sort of sphere as that, and I love it. This record is really great. I still think Sundowning is better personally, but I could not deny how much and how often I went back and listened to this record. Um, just some beautiful like songs where they just have like the vocalist and piano, and then there's some songs where they just have like an 8 string track ripper,
Hmm.
and it's great. So really diverse, like I wouldn't even say it's all over the place, but it's just like collectively chaotic, and I think it just really works with the sound, what they're going for. Also the fact that I'm pretty sure no one knows who they are as people because they all wear masks, like in their stage presence.
Oh, okay.
And
So it's kind of
so,
like baby metal ish kind of
not
vibes
even
where
like
nobody
Baby
knows the
Metal,
band.
it's more like Ghost, if anything, where they
Okay.
just wear a mask and people don't know who I guess they could kind of guess who they are, but there's no proof of who they actually are. So I think that's kind of cool too.
It's a good gimmick. I like it. I mean, if it works for the band, hey, why not? If,
But they're very
especially if you can
cool.
keep it a secret.
Oh yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know. I feel like as they get bigger, it's gonna be more difficult. But definitely go check out this band, Sleep Token. You already know I love them so much, so I feel like had to include them on the list. George, have you listened to Sleep Token before, or is this the first time you're hearing about them?
Literally the first time I'm hearing about them. I have no idea who they are. I just added them to a listen to this now playlist that I have that's a secret. So I will be checking this out. Have no
There we
idea who
go,
they are,
guys.
dude. No idea.
Go check them out, people in the chat. Go check this band out. Definitely, at least in my opinion, a band that will hopefully be big in the States. So go check them out. The next one I got, Gold Necklace. self-titled record. This is a
Wow.
fire record. Fire,
Wow.
fire, 20,000 fire emojis. This one is an absolute bop. Love this record a ton. I'm a big Kurt Travis fan. He's my favorite DGG vocalist. I don't care. Fight me in the comments. But this, if you want to talk about ooh, just that
Oh,
mathcore R&B soul vibe, this is
oh, that crisp. It's
Kurt.
Eternity Forever 2.0.
Yes, it is. Literally, it's Eternity Forever 2.0. Great shit. If you're into guitar playing, if you're into really great bass grooves, and if you're into great drumming, uh, this is the one. This I can't sing enough praises about this record. I low key, high key, almost thought about putting this as number one just because
Whoa.
I ran
Oh my
through this record
God.
as soon as it dropped on that shit, listening to it every day. I've probably listened to it, and this is how I know it has good staying power, is that I've listened to it at least once every week from the week that it released.
Oh, I love that feeling. I love that feeling when you just
So
like you can go back to it whenever you feel like it. You're like, oh, it's the same feeling every time.
I feel like Kurt really broke out of his box. Like I feel like he did in the Eternity Forever EP, but this one I feel like all chains are gone. Full on over 9,000 Kurt came out and gave us the R&B slapper that we all knew we wanted from him. So this one, high key, low key, one of the best releases of this year. George, have you listened to Gold Necklace?
Oh yeah. Actually, C4 Cinema like sent me their way. I didn't know about them at all. I knew Kurt was like in the works with music and such. I just didn't know what the project was called. Um, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It didn't make my top 10 unfortunately, but like this is the right direction for Kurt and this band.
Oh, 100%.
Like it's just there's some songs where I do feel like it's just definitely Eternity Forever 2.0. That's why I said it. But hey, dude, like it's good. It's really really good for a first debut album. Like hats
Oh
off to
yeah.
you guys. Like what the fuck else is next? You know what I mean? Like holy shit.
Also, shout outs to their band, Joe Arlington. He used to be in A Lot Like Birds. Fantastic drummer.
I miss that
Go
band.
give him some love. And Brandon Ewing, he used to be in Chon, which I thought was very cool. And obviously Eternity Forever. So
Mhm.
great record. If you haven't listened to this one, listen, what are you doing? Go as soon as this is done, you need to go listen to that record because it's great. So Gold Necklace, self-titled, great. We're gonna move on to 3, which is the home team Slow Bloom. This one I listened to an ungodly amount of time. If I was on Spotify, I'd probably be within the 0.01% easy. But this is a fire record, and that's not because they're my homies. I love them dearly. But this one, you want to talk about hooks on a record? Ooh,
Holy
it's
shit,
got the
dude.
hooks. The last track has Jeff Loomis and Veil of Maya. Fucking insane. They did a track with Yvette Young. Shouts to Covet. Love her to death too. And Covet generally. They're great people. Just this record. I feel like I've always said this and I will continue to say this. This band flies under everybody's fucking radar
It
and it
does.
pisses me off
It does.
because they have the pop fucking hooks on a pop punk band and they just go unnoticed. So please, for the love of God, go check out the home team. They're gonna be touring with This Wildlife. You know your boy's gonna be at that Philly show because I love them so much, and I'm gonna see them. But this record, bar none, I think one of the best releases, obviously, of this year, and just I think from any pop punk band this year. I like cannot some of the hooks you just can't get out of your head. They're just so good, so well executed that I remember kind of listening to like little demo-ish stuff
Mm-hmm.
that they sent me. Oh, this is great. Love it. What do you think, George?
Oh, dude, I can't wait to. Well, spoiler alert, they're on my top 10 too. Like I'm not gonna tell you where though. The fact that they are, this is a perfect example of a band that you're gonna watch evolve in present time. They are
Yeah.
literally changing their sound, and they're coming from this pop punk original sound, and they're slowly moving into alternative, even pop rock in a sense, like somewhat like band Camino vibes. But like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
like Skylar, it has a huge influence on this band with producing them and like this record. Dude, I'm excited for what's next, like because this is a perfect example of a band that's probably gonna blow up soon. They are just gonna catch the eyes and ears of a lot of people in a very very swiftly matter. And wait until they get on TikTok, dude. Like they haven't even started their
Woo!
TikTok game yet.
I
Like I was
know.
talking to Brian about it on the podcast that we had recently, and he's like, dude, he's like, I can't. He's like, I'm making it a priority. Like when we get back off tour, like I'm going on TikTok all the time. I was like, yeah, dude, please, because that will really really push this band to the next level. They're possibly even stadium worthy. I don't know, dude. This band's tight. Love this album. Slow Boom is a fucking banger.
It was great. Again, hard to argue one of the best record releases of this year. The band I loved Better Off. I thought that was one of the best pop punk records in a while too, but just like George said, their evolution as a band cannot go unnoticed, man. They just really are doing something special, and I'm so stoked. So go check out the home team. You already know. They're the boys. Also go check out the interview with Brian over on George's channel. I'm sure it's awesome. I'm gonna go check it out because I saw it a few days ago and I gotta go watch it because
It
I
was a good
support my
time.
boy
He
George.
knows who Us From
So
Outside is.
I know that's a fantastic. We talked about it when he stayed at my place. So
That's so
shout
fun.
outs to shout outs to Brian. Love that dude and the home team generally, but they're all great people. Number two for me. Listen, if you already know the channel, you already know me. Like Pacific, control my sanity. I don't even need to say anymore. This is a no skipper all day, every day, 365, 24/7. This band to me personally, I don't think they've ever written a bad record. I will go on the record and say that I've loved all of their records equally as much. In Spite of Me was great. Distant Like You Asked was fantastic. It's just this band to me just I don't know. There's something about this band that I just get and they get me somehow and it just works. This I cannot sing enough praises about this band. They fly under people's radars much like the home team and it pisses me off because this band has so many good hooks. I just cannot deny this band as being a pop punk force within the next year or so. Like there's just no way. And I felt like this album did not get enough love at all. Like I don't see anybody post about it other than George. Like he had their vocalist on, and just I feel like this is like this untold gem of a band. And I remember interviewing them back like a couple years ago, and I still felt that way. I still feel that way now. Great band, great record. I can't tell you a favorite track because I love all of them.
Mm.
But George, what do you think? What do you think?
The title
I could
track
talk about them
is
forever.
absolutely amazing. See, that's what I'm saying. Now I'm 3 cups of coffee in, so now you have to deal with me on what I have to say about this album too. But dude, like all in all, like this is probably one of my favorite pop punk albums that were released this year. Absolutely incredible. Jordan Black and the rest of the band killed it. They went through trials and tribulations to get this thing fucking going because they were recording this album mid pandemic, or let's just say peak pandemic. So hats off to them for doing that and pulling it off because this album is
Yeah.
honestly one of the best of the year for pop punk. Like, this is so incredible. Diamond in the Rough, dude. Like, I love you, dudes. Like, you need to pat yourselves on the back. This is like something that I've been looking for in pop punk for a very
Oh,
long
100%.
time. Kind of like We Were Sharks with their album Dulo that they dropped. Like, it's kind of the same thing. Like, it's something that I've been looking for so long that it's just like that is what I can hone into and just hold on tightly because I'm never gonna let that record go. And this record really, oh man, underappreciated. I think people need to go check this out. 100%.
100%. We both agree. Go check out this record. Like Pacific, Control My Sanity. Go buy it. Like, listen, this band ha I I want to put myself out there. I think this band is going to do some big shit in 2022.
Oh,
And if you don't
100%.
think so, you need to go check them out. Get on the ground floor. Me and George have been in the basement, all right? And now we're on the ground level.
Correct.
We
We're working our
storm
way
after
up,
this.
dude.
Working our way up.
We have similar artists on here
We
for
have
our top
we
tens.
do. We
That makes
do.
me feel very happy because, well, more than happy. I feel like I know what I'm talking about because you know what you're talking about at all times. So it's
Oh,
like
thank you.
for us to have like similar artists on the top 10, it's like all right. So like we both have really great taste in music. So I'm not
As soon
disappointed
as
in
they
that.
dropped as soon as they dropped their singles, I knew this record was gonna be a banger and a half. So I love this band, and I am not afraid to show my bias on how much I love this band. So please go check out Like Pacific. Fantastic record. That's it. No cap.
No cap.
But my number one choice. Everybody's been waiting for this moment here. But drum roll, please. My choice is Holding Absences, the greatest mistake of my life. This band is phenomenal. I don't care what anybody says. I'm so stoked that they're going to be touring the States with Dayseeker, Thornhill, and Caskets. This record made me cry, and I'm going to say if it makes you cry, it's got to be number one. And so this one for me hit me on an emotional level. And God, Lucas as a fantastic vocalist. I would love to interview them when they come to the States. But this band can do no wrong. Like, I loved their last record, but this one, like, they took the emotional fortitude of their last record and they fucking strapped it to a battery, and then they fucking powered that shit to the next level. And this is such, like, in terms of production value, is a fucking massive record. I would highly recommend listening to it on like good headphones or like good speakers, because there is just so many really like detail, like nuancy sort of stuff that you don't get if you're just listening to it on like earbuds or like whatever. It just is a magical record, and I knew as soon as I was coming up with this list, this was the record I had to have as number one, just because it hit me so hard in my emotions. And I love it. Like, this band can do no wrong to me, much like Pacific. But I would say even 1 through 4 could be interchangeable for me, like on a good day or bad day. And I think for me personally, this Holding Absence record just I don't even think it surprised me. It just I knew that they could do it, but they just exceeded my expectations so much. So, shout outs to Holding Absence. Very stoked that they're coming to the States again. I don't know how many more times I'm going to mention it, but I'm going to continue to mention it because it's very cool. And this record blew my mind. Blew my mind. What do you think, George? Have you heard of Holding Absence before?
Well, first of all, if they're coming on tour with Dayseeker, I think they should do at every venue is hand out boxes of tissues to every single person that enters the
I
venue.
think so.
Because that's
Yeah,
going to
I
be a
think.
lot of crying going on at those shows.
Oh yeah, so many, so much cries, so many tears.
So many tears shed. But dude, it's a good album. What would you consider the genre of this band? Is it pop punk?
No, they're definitely like post-hardcore.
Okay.
I would say like ambient post-hardcore.
Afterlife felt pop
if I had,
punkish.
some of it is very like pop punk-esque, but I would definitely consider them in the post-hardcore vein.
I think they're
100%.
a very, very well-rounded band. I did listen to the album in full at one point this year, and it's really, really, really good. I'm not more of a lyrics person because I'm a musician, I'm a drummer, so like I really follow through with like aggressiveness and like music and such that
Sure.
correlate
Yeah.
to my physical feelings, not really mental feelings, but all in all, it's a great record, dude. I mean, that's a good fucking number one album to be, and another band off of Sharp Tone. So it's like, I was not disappointed in anything that I heard off this album. This album also has no skips.
No skips. Zero skips. Yeah.
So
It's just,
I like it. It's good.
I think for me, the reason why I enjoyed it so much was just that it's a journey. Like, I think with records, like, sometimes I kind of glaze over the lyrics just because, like, much like yourself, I'm more into, like, how does it make me feel emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once I kind of tapped into the lyricism of this record, I think that's when the flood or the tear dockets, opened up, So, I can't tell you how many times I listened to this record. It was just fantastic, and I knew it had to be on this list. So, Holding Absence, the greatest mistake of my life. I don't think anybody really predicted this to be my top number one, but I haven't seen it on anybody's list, and I'm kind of kind of a little mad that no one has it on their list because it's great. But that was my list, albums of the year. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate your support, but we're gonna move into George's list here.
Uh-oh, here we
Oh yeah,
go. It's
baby. All
about
right.
time.
It's about time, George. All right. So, what's your first one here? What do we got?
So I'm gonna go with a band that I also newly discovered this year alone, and it's going to be Siamese from Dublin, I believe, right? I think that's correct. And they dropped their album Home, which is to me one of the best post-hardcore albums released this year, in my opinion. They have two specific features: Drew York from Stray from the Path and Rory from Dayseeker on this album as well. Those were
Oh,
my
okay.
two favorite songs, which is Enough Ain't Enough. I think this was like a all around perfect record for them to really let themselves shine. Andreas really kind of like told me that they put a lot of like effort into structuring this entire album like how they've envisioned it for a long time. They've released a couple singles that were covers and such, and they have albums in the past, but this was something that really kind of like caught my ear right out of the gate, especially with the feature from Drew York. That was my first experience with them. That was Home. That is the title track. Did you get a chance to listen to this at all? Like, did you or do you know of them?
I have heard of Siamese. I think I did a review of one of their albums. I'm pretty sure one of their older ones, but I've always liked this band. Surprisingly enough, I did not know that they released this record. I didn't even know they had a new record coming out. So this is new to me. I definitely will go after this, go listen to them because I like their band and their music, but I just completely I don't know if it's necessarily disregarding them as a band, but I this was this
No, I mean,
this was news to this was news to me. And the Drew York and Rory feature, I think that's awesome. So this is one I have to definitely look at
dude,
and
they
listen to.
really went all out structurally. I mean, I think they definitely experimented with their sound a little bit more, but they nailed it on the head every song. Like an album that has no skips, a huge improvement from their discography, and like honestly, man, like it should be well deserved to be put into the ears of a lot of people. That's for sure. But yeah, this is definitely number 10 for me. Like I had to put them in somewhere, and I think they belong in number 10. I can only imagine what the future holds for them. So we'll definitely see.
And then
Definitely see what they have.
I know they're an international band. Where are they from?
I'm pretty
Direct.
sure from Dublin. I'm gonna Google it real quick so we can see like where they're from. But they're not from the Eastern Hemisphere or the Western Hemisphere of the
Yeah, yeah.
globe. Siamese band location.
Yeah,
Fun
because I knew
fact:
they
they
were.
used to be called Siamese Cat or something, or Siamese Fighting
Yeah,
Fish. They used to be called Siamese Fighting
yeah,
Fish.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so they're from Copenhagen, Denmark. So they're not from Dublin, but they're from Copenhagen, Denmark. Excuse me, I was incorrect. I knew it began with a D, so I wanted to Google. But
Close.
this album was dedicated to their like it's self-explanatory home. Like it's dedicated to Copenhagen. They
That's
they
awesome.
they put a lot of effort and emotions into this album. This is definitely they should easily be proud of. Very very stoked for this band. Like it's so good. Congratulations, guys!
Okay,
What an album.
I'm gonna have to listen to it. I'm gonna have to vibe out with this one.
Oh, you're gonna love it, dude. I think it will take a little bit to digest for some of the songs, but all in all, it will grow on you for sure.
Okay, very stoked. What's
100%.
the next one, George? What do you got? What do we got?
Well, I don't want to say it right off the bat because I actually want to read it so I don't like mess up the long title for this album release. You guys are killing me. It's the Seafloor Cinema in CinemaScope with stereophonic sound. And let's take a I want to kind of like explain something real quick. So a lot of these on my top 10 albums, I also put into consideration of how I'm looking into the future with these artists and how they drop them as well. So I'm also taking that into consideration when I'm doing my top 10
Yeah,
because a lot of these bands, especially 10 through 7, this is just only the beginning for these bands. Like these are bands in my opinion that are also currently evolving in front of our eyes.
yeah,
So but dude, hats off to this band. I mean, they had a lot of traction in general with like some of the singles that they've released and such. and then recently signing to Pure Noise and dropping this album was just an absolute delight.
Yeah, agreed.
Didn't expect to see some softer stuff. They're going into like a cyberpunk vibe in some of this stuff off the album, and my personal favorite is Crash Nebula on Ice because aggressive music. Like I love aggressive
Yeah, yeah.
stuff. So this is easily my top 9, number 9. I'm stoked for this album, and I can only imagine what's next from them. But did you get a chance to listen to this? I'm sure.
I have listened to it. Shout out to C4 Cinema. I have had them on the channel very, very long ago, way prior to them getting signed. But
What am I telling you, dude? That's another
I
thing. Just
know,
start writing
I
that
know.
down. You're
It's shit.
manifesting their
Yeah,
careers,
shit.
dude. Thank God you had
Manifesting
Poeta.
shit.
Thank God you had Poeta on. Now you're manifesting our career. You know what
Listen, I'm just trying. I'm trying to get Poeta signed. That's actually the real goal
I
here.
mean? We are signed,
Um,
but
I mean, signed again, but
yeah,
like
again, because this is our
large,
last album
you know.
off the record
Yeah.
company. Yeah.
Um, but anyway, yes, I did listen to it. I thought it was very cool. This band has always done stuff interesting, at least to me. Like I know they're definitely in that math rock sphere of music, and I think if you are in that boat, definitely go give that band a listen for sure. Very stoked. A little bit strange, but I think it's good. Definitely good for them. They're gonna be touring with the Amity Affliction,
Oh,
and
I know. I'm so
which I
stoked for
think is
them.
very sick. Also, shout outs to Archetypes Collide. They're awesome too. They're gonna be opening up that tour as well. Another really sick band. Waiting for more material from them, and I've also had them on the channel as well. So go check them out. But yeah, I think I definitely agree with George in the fact that like this band has a lot of potential to do some really cool stuff. Like I feel like they almost included some like almost like hyper pop elements into their music, which I think is a little like definitely in that zone. But I like the just mixing of genres that they've got going on with this band. I think they just do something a little bit fresh, a little bit unique. And when I saw this, on the list, you boy had to talk about it. So I'm glad that George mentioned them. They were on kind of on my rotating list of like bands that released music this year,
Mm-hmm.
and I just feel like I didn't give it enough love. So I will definitely go back and listen to it. But yeah, I agree, George. This is a band that to keep an eye out in 2022 for sure, 100%.
Yeah, so 10 through 7 for me is like more so like I look at these albums, and again, I'm seeing these bands, or we're seeing these bands evolve in front of our eyes as we speak. Because this is just the beginning for Seafloor, with Pure Noise, with this album,
Hmm.
with them touring and stuff. So like, and I love that for them. And like they do a really good job experimenting with their sound and like making sure that what they want is there for their discography. So like, hats off
100%.
to them, dude. They really fucking killed this album. I like I said, I don't think there's also another bad song off this record either. I think I can listen to every single one like straight through. Very underrated. This is a band that's gonna blow up eventually, in the near future. So I'm gonna
Agreed.
move on to number 8. We talked about this already. It is the home team Slow Bloom. I already kind of hyped them up a little bit, so I'm not gonna talk too much about them. But like, guys, like, listen, man, like, you're gonna be close into like playing stadiums soon, dude. Like, I can see it. Like, this band is just another band evolving in front of our eyes. They're like pop punk turning into an alternative like pop rock band. Like, it's just like they're just trying to feel out their own sound. I'm so glad we had them on our top 10 because like you can't hide from this album. It's kind
It's
of like
undeniable.
addicting, like to an extreme. Like Brian's vocals, like, and his R&B influences are like probably like what drives me into that band. It's just very, very interesting to see an art. Like there's so many influences going into the album, and it's working. It's working really well.
I like the fact, at least for me, because I talked to John. Shouts to John. John's my guy. He's like my cousin probably at this point. But um John, I really love his guitar playing, and I think he's just so not fit. Like if you look at John, he does not look like he would fit in like a pop punk like alternative band. Like, and he's even told me he's like I've been in like death metal bands and like harder music, and I think he really finds a way of like integrating his guitar playing into like pop punk alternative like R&B music. Like they hit so many like genres. It's really impressive that it doesn't seem like too out there, you know, like it
Hmm.
all collectively makes sense. And I think just because they all come from different backgrounds, like Dan used to be in a lot of metalcore bands, Brian's been in a lot more like pop punky, kind of more alternative bands, and obviously has that big R&B influence. And obviously, like you mentioned earlier, Sky being in Issues and like having that sort of influence, I think just the way that all of the worlds collided, I think was just fantastic. So would highly agree. This one, if you are slipping up and you haven't checked this band out, you should definitely check them out because gonna blow up in 2022. I'm just calling it. You know, I've
Oh,
I've
dude,
I've called it before.
absolutely,
I've called it
absolutely.
before.
They're definitely blowing up. I mean, out of the albums, it's really hard to pick top 10 because like we're kind of like sticking to our scene with like the metalcore, post-hardcore, pop punk, etc. And like it's really hard to compare albums and such. And like although this is a really really fantastic album, I just think there's so much to hold for the future for them. Like it's just
Yeah,
it's inevitable at this point. Like they have something special.
they could move into the alt scene, like you mentioned the band Camino. They could definitely
Oh,
move into
I
that sphere of music, 100%.
That's their intention, and they're gonna do it. It's just a matter of like when.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, I got this signed record from them that, I got,
Dude, sweet flex.
back
Can I
back in
get
the
one
days.
too?
We flexing. Yeah, listen, come on guys. Sign my record so I can be flexing out here. But next one, George, what's your next one on the list, bud?
Number 7, we're gonna go with Youth Fountain with Keepsakes and Reminders.
Woo!
This isn't too far off from his previous album.
Tyler, my
Tyler,
guy.
my fucking dude, with Letters to Our Former Selves. Dude, like, man, is this emotional. This is actually
Yeah.
like I kind of lied to myself earlier. I took the lyrics into very strong consideration with this. The sound is pop punkish emo.
Yeah.
However, like he's trending more towards emo lyrically, musically. He did tell me that, and through interviews, he said there's a lot of correlations between this album and his previous album. I'm saying his. We talked to Tyler. That's just how I envision
Oh,
like
I know. Oh, I
conversation.
know.
So I don't want anybody to get distracted. Like, it's his band. It's like, no, well, obviously he has a band with him. But what I'm saying is like his he got so emotional with these lyrics, dude. They were dark. They were
Yes, they
really
were.
fucking dark,
Yes,
and
they
I
were.
was like, dude, I fucking feel for it, and like some of it spoke to me, and I was like, like it didn't make me cry, but I was like, damn, dude, like this is a reality setting in with these lyrics. So,
It's a reality check.
um,
Yeah.
I wonder, I can't remember what it was. I'll do like a quick like Google, but dude, like this is a band that needs to be on people's radar. And I again, I said 10 through 7. This is a band that is going to be evolving in front of your eyes as well because of the fact that there's a lot of transitioning from. You're gonna see this. You're gonna see this from Letters to Our Former Selves, and then you're gonna see it to Keepsakes and Reminders, and it's gonna be the middle,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna like the middle between these. Whatever the next one is, like it's gonna be musically and lyrically like it's gonna be very very incredible. But like this album, dude, Tyler and the rest of the Youth Found, hats off. What an incredible way to fucking put this out for 2021.
I would agree. Shout outs to Tyler, my guy. We might be doing something in the new year, so keep an eye out for that. But Tyler, I found out about them like a long time ago too. Again, I want to flex a little bit, but I found out of them before they signed. So
I
I'm just
found them
saying.
on Dreambound. That's how I found them.
Dreambound. Yep, I
Yeah,
found them out in Dreambound.
it was
So if you're in the
Deadlock that
dream,
made me find them.
listen, if you're in the Dreambound gang, you know what's up. So,
I'm in that
uh,
gang, dude.
but yeah, they
Did you know when they were
Tyler
called
like
Bedroom Talk?
I do, yeah. It was like
That's even a
it
bigger
was a
flex.
yeah. That's an even bigger flex. But shout outs to Tyler. Like this record was great. I feel like I didn't give this one enough of a listen to like kind of like add to my list. But I feel like if I did, it would definitely be on my list as well. He lyrically just had some really brilliant stuff going on this record. Definitely deep, definitely meaningful, and just the musicality of it. I think behind it too, just like he just has this really cool like tonality to his voice that I've always really loved. And I feel like it lends itself well to the kind of like emo and pop punk thing that he's doing right now. So gotta love him. Again, a Canadian staple, some might say. So go check out Youth Fountain. I would definitely highly recommend listening to that record. Keepsakes and reminders.
Maybe
Great
you and
record.
I should just move to Canada because all of our pop punk bands that we really like, truly love, are from Canada.
I
Like,
think that's the truth. Yeah, I'm about it.
all right, so this is from
Let's
his
move it.
this is from his song "My Mental Health." I poisoned all my drinks again and again, assuming it would help me be a completely different person. Then I'm left with just myself. There's never any way out. I can't find a single thing to feel all right about. It's like, dude, how fucking depressing is that? Like, you're trying to
Yeah.
like get yourself into a completely different situation, and like it's just not changing. You're like, fuck, I'm the same person.
Oh,
Like, he's deep, dude. It's very deep,
yeah.
deep cut lyrics.
Yeah, and we talked. I remember I saw them at Voltage Lounge. Shouts to Voltage Lounge, love that Philly venues, baby. But we were talking about just like music in general, and then he's a big video game fan, so we talk about that stuff all the time. But he's a great dude. Glad he's definitely in a better spot, I think. And just like this record was primo stuff. So highly recommend George. George is continuing to kill it on this list right now. So I'm eagerly waiting for the next one.
Number 6, we're coming in with Like Pacific with Control My Sanity. Another one that we have on the same top 10 albums of the year. And
Let's go.
dude, oh man, I already said what I had to say. We can just go on to the next one because
We already know. We already know. Check this. This is the moral of the story, guys. Go check out Like Pacific. Don't be an idiot. That's it.
dude, don't be an idiot. That's basically
Don't
it.
be an idiot.
Don't be an idiot.
Don't be an idiot.
Go listen to the album, buy the vinyl, buy some merch, and
Go support these boys.
just go see a show. Get out. Go see
Yeah.
them.
Go out and see a show. All right. What do we got next, George?
Number 5 is the third Canadian pop punk band in a row. Is We Were
The
Sharks
boys
with
Woo!
New Low. Guys, like, I'm gonna clip this and send it to you on a personal level, or maybe just tag you on social media and tell you how I
please.
really feel. Like, this is honestly the best piece of work I've heard from you gents since I've known you. Like, congratulations. It was so well structured, and like you hit different like atmospheres with like this whole album, like between your singles and trying to promote it during the middle of the pandemic. Like, you guys absolutely fucking killed it. And there was a lot of this was an album I put on repeat a lot. Over This was my number 1 song. I do love Shameless. I don't know. I think the catchy verses for Over This and lyrically Randy with your vocals, like, that kind of got me like into this like headspace with the music. But this is easily your best piece of work, and I am so hoping you guys tour this album because it is so fucking good. One of the top pop punk bands of like 2021 for sure.
I love Randy. Shouts to Randy. He's been on the channel twice. Big ups to him. Funnily enough, I will do a side tangent. We Were Sharks and Youth Fountain were on the same tour together, so that's how I met both of those bands.
No shit.
So,
Oh, that's right.
ironically enough, great shows. But Randy, I feel like I low key am mad I did not put this on my list because I listened to the absolute fuck out of this record. It's great. Randy, kind of similarly to the Home Team, ironically enough, he's got a great like R&B kind of like old school like boy band pop vibe to his vocals.
Oh,
So,
yeah. People compare him on TikTok to the guy from Anberlin. That's how they kind of correlate his vocals.
Yes.
Which makes a lot of
Steven
sense.
Christian. I can agree with that. Yeah, he definitely has a Steven Christian vibe. But I'm gonna put this out there. If you guys want to take the bait on it, definitely do it. George and I would love to sponsor this tour, but like if the home We Were Sharks did a tour together, that would be racking in some dough. I'm not gonna lie, so I'd be about it. I'll put my John Hancock on that shit.
It's so funny too because I talk to people and they passionately talk about We Were Sharks, like, God, dude, I love that album, blah blah blah. I was like, and it's so funny because like that was my first tour was with them when they had Bridge Burner, and like they were like still small but like still popular. in Canada and coming to the States and such. I was like, man, like I fucking grew up with those dudes. We watched the Super Bowl together, got wasted
Yeah,
together, ate some wings. I love those dudes. They're my homies. But like it's not an honorary mention like on this top 10 for me. Like I literally thoroughly enjoy this music. I think Lost Touch was underrated. I think this is just
I agree.
this blows Lost Touch out of the water. Out of the
Hard
water.
agree.
It's
Hard agree. Hard
crazy
agree.
good. Crazy good.
Fantastic. I agree. Over it. Another banger. Just this band, I think, does something special. Much like I think the home team, and
Yeah.
I feel like I have to plug that tour. Like if it happens, I'm manifesting that shit. You guys should tour together. That's realistically what I'm trying to say. And that I would put I put my logo on that little like tour poster, and we'd be good.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
I put over this in one of my TikTok videos that kind of blew up, and I called it the next generation of pop punk, but I didn't care because like I think they're so fucking good that they deserve to be like on something that would possibly blow up, and then people feel that video be like they've been around forever. I'm like, good, keep talking, keep feeding the algorithm because it's just gonna make it
Yes,
better.
yes.
You're just gonna make us more popular, dude. It was a good
Yeah.
video. It's a good video. The next
So
generation of pop punk's fucking sick. But you want to move
shout
on to
outs to We Were
number?
Sharks.
I love you guys, Jason, Will, Colin. Is
Love you
Devin the
guys.
new bass player? I miss Steve. Steve's not in the band anymore, and Randy. There's a new bass. I think his name's Devin. I can't remember. Sorry, bud. Love you too. I only met you once. Let's move on to
Anyway,
number
next one.
4. Number 4 is Landmarks with their album Lost in the Waves. Oh my god, dude. This was probably one of the best, if not like aggressive fucking metalcore albums I've listened to this year, like next to Era and Silent Planet. Silent Planet I didn't get much love and appreciation to. I put a lot of pop punk bands on this top 10 for me. That's just how I personally feel with how I'm going about my albums of the year. But dude, like this album was just like absolutely incredible. I think it was like somebody suggested me their live stream when it was still like in the middle of the pandemic and stuff,
it
and
was
like
so
it
sick.
sounded exactly just like the record. I was like, are you kidding me, dude? Like this is insane.
Yeah.
So Lost in a Wave was like easily like caught my attention, but the live stream, guys, that live stream was incredible. This album is so perfect.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Oh. This and again,
Underrated.
it's in the top for me because of the fact that I put it on repeat so many times.
It's so good though too. And I think the thing that I enjoyed about it the most is just it's so diverse in terms of like the musicality of it. Like
Is.
you have like one song that could easily just like rip your face off in terms of the breakdown, and then you have like one song that seems like more anthematic and has like a real like kind of like pop punky sort of thing. They did one song that has like some French like rapping in it.
Yep.
It's just like all over the map, and I really dug that. This one was like on my honorable mentions 100%, and I think it would have been definitely, I think if I like realized it a little bit sooner and how much I love this record, I think I would have definitely been in a little bit of a different spot. But I like this one an absolute ton. This one was really fucking good. And I just found I didn't just find this out, I knew it, but one of their guitar players is actually the guitar player for Chunk too. So which is very cool.
Pretty
So
self-explanatory, which why both
pretty
bands are
self-explanatory.
absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, so I agree with you, George. Fantastic pick. When I saw this on the list, I got
You got super
mega
hyped.
hyped.
Yeah. I'm
Mega
glad we
hyped,
had
yeah.
like a lot of like similarities within our top 10s too. That makes me super happy.
Yeah, this one was just shy of my picks, but nonetheless.
Just like with Silent Plan for me. But like again, I listen to this album a lot on
Yeah.
and I can't take my Spotify Wrapped in consideration, and the only reason why is because when I go through submissions for my playlist, like I'm listening to so many bands, like so many
Oh, I know.
underground bands, like it messes up my like my
That
statistics.
algorithm, yeah.
So like
Yeah.
and I'm looking at my list and it's like your top number 3 band that you listen to is Poeta. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like that
That's
makes
my band.
no sense. I don't. That's my band. I don't listen to us like that. That's weird. Like, I mean, I do enjoy it, but like, I don't listen to it like that. Like,
I got you. I knew what you meant. Not pandering at all. But
No,
anyway,
no.
what's the next one, George?
Number
What you
3
got?
is the future of pop punk, and I'm calling it right now as Magnolia Park. It's not MGK. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not Willow. It's none of those artists, dude. Magnolia Park, I have never been so excited for the future of this genre since I want to say maybe like I got into it. It's absolutely incredible. They know what they want. This is just the beginning for Magnolia Park. I don't think that this is going to be stationary for them. I think this album is going to fuel whatever is coming next, dude. And them collaborating with Andrew Wade was an absolute peak performance, peak recording. There's really no misses on this album at all whatsoever. But as the future of pop punk, dude, this is it. You're not getting anything else out of this band. Like, no, you want to. I'm putting it right now, dude. Like, if anybody is a fan of the genre, you're gonna want to listen to this album. You're gonna want to dissect it. You're gonna want to just move on. This is it. I'm sorry. This is pop punk. Like, it's not changing. Like, they're revolutionizing the genre. Like, this is it, dude. Like, I'm so stoked for this band. I'm so stoked what they're doing for pop punk. And oh, like, what an absolute treat for this band. And we get it. Like, they were discovered on TikTok, and that's how I discovered them. And hey, listen, people are discovering me through TikTok. Like, that's no excuse for how good this record is. Dude, like, I was being very like impatient. I was like anticipating like when this album was gonna drop, and then it finally did. I was like, dude, like they got it, and this is just the beginning for them. Like, this they're gonna go back on their discography, and like, this was so cute. Like, I remember when they released this album, like, because the next one and the next one, they're gonna be like 100 times better than this, dude. Like, I'm so stoked. These catchy verses, Josh's fucking choruses that are just like really reach to people lyrically. Oh my god, dude. I can't. I'm running. I'm getting lightheaded. Like, this is
getting emotional.
This is. I get it. MGK kind of made pop punk relevant, but this is gonna help revive. Magnolia Park will single-handedly revive pop punk. That's it.
That's bold statement. I've heard of this band. I did not listen to this record. I probably will now, since you hyped it up. I'm gonna definitely dive deep into this. But I had a few Florida friends post about this band prior to them signing, saying like, you need to check them out. And I just passed my radar. But I will, now that it is high up on your tier list, I'm gonna have to give it a listen.
Go to 10 for 10 first. Then go to Back on My Bullshit, Sick of It All, Liar. That's the order I want you to listen to. That, me personally, that's how I kind of like am grading these songs right now. But dude, like, I do what. Oh my god, like, I'm so excited for pop punk. Like, they're gonna inspire kids to be in pop punk bands. Like,
that's great.
This is changing the whole genre. Like, dude, I don't care what anybody says. Like, you're wrong. This is the future of pop punk. That's it. That's said and done, dude. Like, that's it.
TikTok is helping out with that 100%. So
well, that's because they're very intelligent with how they market themselves. But what I'm saying is, like,
you got it.
But the music speaks for itself, though. Like, the music is grade A quality pop punk, especially for like a new generation of a band like this. Like,
sure.
Like, they have influences with like other aspects of genres that are being put into their music, and it's thriving them. It's too good.
Yeah,
it's too good. Like, they wouldn't be, nobody, like, that's the thing too. Like, TikTok band, listen, they're not popular on TikTok by accident. It's because they're good.
I got you.
It's because they're good.
Yeah.
I see popular people on TikTok all the time, and I'm like, it's because they're intelligent, have good taste, they're good looking, this and that, there's talent. So like, that's why I think this band is just gonna be, I'm putting them on a pedestal right now. So
all right.
Not
you
really.
heard it here first, guys.
Yep. Let's go to number 2, which I'm so shocked that you didn't have them up here this high. Is Idola's The Architect, dude. I know it was really tough. I saw him live.
It's funny we flipped though. We literally flipped. Like,
we did.
Like, we flipped because like you had like Light Pacific like closer to the end. Mm-hmm. And I had it up at the top, and you had Idola closer to the top, and I had it closer to the end. Yeah, but still, nonetheless, it's a fantastic record. 100%.
This was a band that I know that it's just gonna get better and better from here on out. Like,
100%.
Like you said earlier in this the
conversation
that they just mesh well together perfectly. Like, creativity, their creativity as musicians like mesh well so together that like this is just gonna be like, this album just like fucking flourishes. I love The Architect, love their live performance, absolutely killed it on the Afterburner tour.
Yeah, they're great. Great band.
Great band, great people. Andrew Wells is the GOAT.
Yeah. Love that dude. Love you, Andrew. But totally agree.
Yeah.
What we got for number one, George? What is the
Number
number one?
one for my album of the year with 2021 is Spirit Box's Eternal Blue. Dude, I have never been so impressed by a metalcore band in my entire existence of loving the genre. This is it for me. This album spoke in so many ways how they diversified, how they became themselves, how they just, they perfectly meshed everything they've done over the years with their past bands, their current discography. Like, they did it all. If you go back and you listen to, like, I Wrestled a Bear once, you can hear some of the influences from that on this album. Like, it's very, it's not too far off. But this is the most maturest thing that I've heard from this band, from this artist, from any of the albums I listened to this year. This is an absolute treat. I can't wait to see them live. I didn't get a chance to see them live. I know they came through with Limp Bizkit and that got canceled, but I will definitely be out there as soon as they come through the Philadelphia area or possibly New Jersey. So
they will be playing Philly.
Dude. I was kind of like disappointed. I was like, they're not high on your top 10, bro. Like, I think they were like, what, number 8?
I had Spirit Box at 9. And
Okay.
It's not because I didn't love, like, I feel like I had to take into consideration this record came out this year. If I took Spirit Box as a collective from their whole discography, it would definitely be much higher up there. I totally agree with you in the whole impact of their band, what they've been doing for, like, during the pandemic, and, like, obviously being still able to thrive, and still able to have the backing that they did. I just think a lot of people hyped up this record, and it's not that it's a bad record. I just feel like the hype train was way too high on this record, and I think personally, obviously by my list, there was better records that came out personally.
It's every to each their own, but they made you top 10. That's all that matters.